All right, so welcome to yoga this morning. We're just going to start in that comfortable seat, Sukhasana, known as the sweet pose. So let's make this sweet. We're going to let the sits bones press into the earth, let the crown of the head climb up, and start to soften through your knees and your toes. And it's best if the heart comes forward just a little bit. And if the head goes back just a touch and the chin ever so slightly pulls in and rolls down, super soft. And let's soften our fingers, soften our shoulders, and take the tip of the tongue and place it behind your two top front teeth. And that'll soften your jaw and the skin on your face. And let's start to breathe through the nostrils. And as we inhale, just intend for the breath to come in through the left nostril. And we'll hold it at that third eye center. And then intend for the breath to exhale through the right nostril. Inhaling through the right nostril. Holding the breath. And exhaling through the left. So it's a little seesaw pattern, alternate nostril breathing without the hands. And you'll get it after just a moment. And as you start to relax into the breath, letting that belly soften, lungs soften, maybe the hips release just a little bit more. And we can start to pay attention to the quality of our mind. The mind is the instrument, useful as it may be, it is the instrument we are learning to control through our yoga practice. So maybe start to think to yourself, I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. And today, I always shuffle and pick a tarot for the day. And today we got the Seven of Swords. I'll describe it to you. It's a man in a blue coat, head covered, carrying 5 of the 7 swords. 2 of them are stuck in the ground behind him. And it looks like he's fought hard. And he's won. And he's carrying the rewards of the battle. So maybe start to think what that means to you in your own life. It seems we've all been in this incredible battle lately. Maybe even since March, maybe even February, you can start to think about what you've been through, how things have changed, and what you've accomplished, and what you've been forced to let go of. There's 7 swords, he's only carrying 5. He's had to leave 2 behind, even though they're valuable. Beautiful. On your next exhale, just roll your chin down to your chest. Let that head hang heavy. Maybe feeling the weight of the brain sloshing forward. And if it feels good, we're going to start to inhale, roll the head to the right, exhaling, rolling the head to the left. If it feels good, we'll start to take the full head circles, exposing the throat towards the sky. And let's take a throat chakra, Vishuddha, centered focus today. So at the throat center, you can imagine a ball of baby blue light. Go ahead and take it in the other direction. The throat chakra is the home of detachment, which I personally think is one of the hardest lessons of life. Beautiful. Let's come to center now. Bring your fingertips by the side. We walk them out. We get a little stretch on our arms. We look up. Let that wave soften from the shoulders down to the lower back. And you can roll your eyes to the back of your head. Eyes can be open. You can start to work your jawline. So make big circles with your lower jaw. Swish it left and right. You can even stick your tongue out and point your tongue down to your chin. Opening your mouth wide. And then take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll that chin back down to the chest, taking a little further than you did when we started. So feel a nice stretch that goes through the neck, starts to go through the shoulders as you maybe walk those fingers out a little bit more. You'll feel the muscles in the arms stretching. And then notice where you're holding, softening the knees, deepening the breath. As you inhale, notice that diaphragm pulls down on the lungs, lungs fill. And as you exhale, that diaphragm pushes up on the lungs, lungs empty. And while the belly's sticking out, don't make that your focus. Let the lungs be the focus. Inhale, look up. Reach up, arms to the sky, soften the shoulders. Take the tips of the ears to the back of the room again. Sky blue at the throat. They say the chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, also relates to speaking your truth. Go ahead and look straight ahead. And then we'll take the left hand to the right knee as we twist. Sits bones press into the earth. Crown of the head rises up. If you have any tensions in your shoulders or your neck, go ahead and inhale. Look over your left shoulder and exhale. Look over your right shoulder. So when we start off, sometimes we're super tight. And it's nice to just keep moving. Sometimes when you speak what you believe to be the truth, your truth, you might end up having to leave some things or people or places behind. So just like the man in our card, we pick up what we can and we move forward. Beautiful. Inhale, bring those arms up again. And then take it to the other side. Again, moving that head if it feels good. And then releasing all of that, let's roll over onto hands and knees. And if you need a blanket under your knees, put it there. Look at your hands, get them spread wide like starfish. Let's focus on that thumb and index finger, press deep to the earth. Draw a few little circles with your shoulders to find the mounds of the hands. So that's where the fingers connect into the hands. And those mounds should stay deeply connected into the mat. Draw the circles in the other direction, because we want to get the energy out of the wrists. Now come to stillness, bend your elbows out left and right. That's to remind you that the inner eyes of the elbows should be looking at each other. And that's so we don't hyperextend. Beautiful. Come to stillness. Take your knees back just a touch behind the hips. We're going to inhale, rock the heart forward, look up and out, and then exhale, round through the spine, maybe even drawing the tailbone all the way back to the heels. Moving with breath, maybe thinking to yourself, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, or maybe playing with the idea of detachment. You know, detachment is not, I don't care. Detachment is, I don't mind. I don't mind what happens. I don't mind what other people do. And the yogis have that practice of, you know, we look on with interest. We say, oh, isn't that curious? Isn't that interesting? And then that way you don't get sucked into all the drama. On your next exhale, push the tailbone back. Toes can stay curled as the fingers lift into little spiders. Let that head hang. Walking the fingers forward, we pull forward as we press back at the same time. Deepening the breath, focusing on the lungs. So if you're inhaling into the lungs, that belly's going to push out a little bit, but it's not going to get in the way of your practice, especially if you've got any pandemic pounds hanging around. Go ahead and walk it over to the right, and then walk that left hand forward just a little bit more than you thought you could. Maybe take your gaze under your left arm, even twisting, trying to look under the arm and up. Beautiful. Let's take it to the other side. Walking that right hand out. You look under and up. And then we come back to center. Press those hands to the earth. We come back to that tabletop position and find down dog. So you can pause here to hover, lifting the knees, letting the shoulders get a little heat building in them. Breathing long and deep. And then pushing the tailbone towards the heels. Look. And then working the tailbone to the sky. We're going to bend the knees a little bit, push the tailbone up a little bit more, and then start to walk the feet, lifting one heel, lifting the other. Explore the tightness. Right knee bent, left leg straightens, hold it, and check in with your hands. Make sure the energy is level. And be sure not to hyperextend, so the inner eyes of the elbows are facing each other. And then switching sides. Beautiful. Straightening both legs. Let's inhale to the tippy toes. And then exhale, push down through the heels dramatically. Inhale up and exhale down. And pushing through the heels. Pause here. Take a big breath. And on an exhale, bring the knees to the earth. Slide your hands towards your knees. Come sitting on your heels. Roll your wrists around. How's everybody doing? Yay for the day. Let's interlace our fingers, flip our palms, press them out. And then without moving the spine, we're just going to pull a little to the left, a little to the right. Let this stretch your shoulders. So the energy body works in concert. You know, we can talk about one of the 7 chakras at a time, but just as a reminder, we're always, you know, doing the work of all the chakras. Inhale, lift up onto the knees. And then we're going to take it to the left, look up, and really pull up and over, get a stretch through that side body. So just as a reminder, base of the spine, root chakra, make good choices. It's where your karma lives. Inhale through center, exhale. Moving up one below the belly button, recognize you're in the flow. Life is going to happen. So just get in that boat and go. Come back through center. Let's release our hands behind us. Draw down on the shoulders, look up, and again, we open that throat to the sky. Close your eyes or not. Stick your tongue out or not. Working the jawline or not. Breathe. Above the navel, solar chakra, know what you want. Beautiful, level the gaze. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, right hand to the ankle, and then turn and press and look up, open through the heart. Keep breathing. Heart, color green. And that's equal giving and receiving. And we practice that in yoga with our breath every day. Beautiful. Reach up for the sky and switch sides. We get to that throat, which is detachment and truth. Third eye center, connection to the divine. And then the crown chakra, the really ultimate mystery of cosmic consciousness, unity. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up again. And then we'll just walk our hands back forward. We're going to come back to that down dog. And keep breathing as you're exhaling. That navel's pulling deep into the spine, hitching up, pulling up on that pelvic floor. We're going to look between the hands and as many steps as you want to take. Sometimes it's just fun to take little baby steps. So we're going to get to the front of the mat. If you use blocks, you can place them in front of you. Having something to hold on to makes the spine feel safe. We're going to inhale, lift the heels onto the toes, and then exhale, rolling back, lifting the toes. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. And then lifting the toes, staying there. Maybe you're at a half lift. Maybe that heart can press forward a little bit more. Your head can hang heavy. We're hinging at the hip creases. Sometimes you need to contemplate what it is you're even attached to. Go ahead and bring the feet to the earth. And then we're going to heel toe the feet as wide as the mat. Fingertips touch the mat. We're going to inhale, sit down, look up and out, and then exhale, fold. And as you're sitting down, really pressing through that tailbone. Your eyes can be closed, crossed, drawn up to that third eye center. The way to know what you're attached to is to find people, situations, things in your life that you're very emotionally charged by. So, of course, it's natural to be attached to your family. There's that healthy, bonded attachment, and then there's the obsessive, controlling attachment. Go ahead and press down, sit down, bring hands to heart center if you choose. Keep breathing. And then we fold. Take your left hand to the outside edge of the right ankle. As you inhale, sweep up with that right arm and sweep down. Or if you want to just go full on into this, everybody's shoulders seem to have a different story. Some of you have been up since 5. Some of you got up and threw a ponytail in and ran out the door, right? Beautiful. Let's switch sides. We are all certainly learning detachment right now in this pandemic because the lesson to learn detachment is to embrace uncertainty. And for sure, it's certain that nothing is certain right now. But the joke is it never has been. It might have been predictable, but it wasn't certain. Beautiful. Go ahead and take the hand back to the earth and then heel toe the feet under your hips. Bend your knees a little bit as you inhale. Come on up. Reach up. Look up. And then seal the hands together. Middle ring and pinky finger merge. Draw those fingers back as you open through the heart. No energy in the lower back. And then again, you can roll the eyes to the back of the head. You can work that jawline again. And all of that jawline work is also helping you to recover from sagging and wrinkles. Beautiful. Go ahead and level your gaze. Take a big inhale. Exhale that right hand behind you. Follow it with your eyes. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand. And try to open that hand up to the outside world. And we smile if we got one, right? Beautiful. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms. We'll take it over to the left, look up, and really reaching up and over, get that side body stretch. And then we inhale back through center and take it to the other side. Inhaling back through center, bring the hands in front of you. Soften your shoulders, don't twist the spine. Again, we're just pulling on the shoulders. So try not to move the chest. Noticing your thoughts, bring them back to the moment. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up. Spread the hands wide, and then we'll bring the arms behind us, opened up. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, reaching up. And you can follow your fingers with your eyes. This is for all our rotator cuff injuries. Just keep breathing. Beautiful. Inhale, bring it up. And then bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Make sure you're at the front of your mat. This is a great place to go ahead and make a little wish. And then we're going to inhale, reach up for the sky. Bend the knees as we exhale, fold. Pressing forward with the heart. Let's go ahead and inhale, half lift. Bend the knees a touch, hinge at the hip creases. Fold deeper, heart pressing towards the knees. Head hangs heavy. Deepen your breath. Inhale, relieve that just a little bit. Come up, step back with that right foot. Raised runner's lunge. If you have blocks, you like to use them. Great place to add them now. Slide those right toes back. Press through that right heel and pull back on your left hip. And look at your knee. Is it over your ankle? And let's try to have our either be on your very, very fingertips like this, or be flat with your hands. So we don't want to press our fingers and kind of half bend them. We either want to be on the tops or flat. Lift your front toes, pull back on your left hip a little bit. Make sure you're not hyperextending. So we still have that strength building here. You got it. Inhale here, exhale, straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend, and straighten. See if you're reaching forward with your hands. Your hands should be really in alignment with your heel even, depending on how long your arms are. Beautiful. Straighten that front leg. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Lift your front toes. Pull back on that left hip. Pressing down through the right heel. The heart is pressed forward. The chin can roll down. The spine is straight. Just keep breathing. Oh, beautiful. Let's go ahead and bend that front knee. Place the back knee to the earth. And then we're going to straighten that leg again, half split. Maybe slide that heel forward. Try to be up tall in this. Use your blocks if you have them. Take that foot to the left, to the right, and then pull it to the left. Let's not move our shin, just the foot. Our spine is straight, the heart presses forward, chin rolls down, pull back on the left hip. And breathe. And noticing your thoughts. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Or contemplation of detachment. Go ahead and bend the front knee, walk the hands forward, get to the flesh above the back knee, bend it, and then reach back with the left hand. Don't let that left knee fall out. Try to keep that knee over the ankle. Flex that right foot if you can. And then just breathing through this, pulling in. They say this is where your frustration lives. Somebody a long time ago introduced the idea of spiritual frustration to me. I thought that was very interesting. Can you be spiritually frustrated? And yoga says no. The soul is perfect, undisturbed. Go ahead and release that ankle. Place the hands flat to the earth. Lift the knees. We're going to come into a three-legged dog. So press that left foot all the way up to the sky. You can do this in tabletop as well. Let the right heel sink down. Draw some little circles with that left ankle. Keep breathing. And then let's take that left foot, lift it higher, 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 and then cross it around and behind the right leg. We're going to bring the right knee to the earth first, left knee to the earth outside that leg. And then we're going to take that left leg and slide it straight back into a little modified pigeon pose. So just slide on back, come down onto the belly, on the thigh, and breathe into that glute. And maybe noting if you tent your fingers together in a little triangle versus clasping them. When we clasp, we raise our blood pressure. And just keep breathing. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And as we inhale, let's start to lift up. Bring the knee to the earth. Maybe swish a little side to side. Draw some circles with your wrists if your wrists are strengthening. And we'll find our way back to down dog. Bend the knees a touch. Work the tailbone higher. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the shoulders over the wrists for a plank. You can always put your knees down. Hold here, build strength. And then we take an inhale. And as we exhale, the knees, chest and chin slide to the earth. And let's just slide our elbows right underneath our shoulders for a Sphinx pose. Press the hands into the mat. Press the forearms into the mat. That's going to give you a little lift up. Take your heels, your toes, seal them together. Press through your pubic bone. And then imagining your spine is like a roller coaster. As you inhale, the breath is climbing up through the crown. And as you exhale, the heart sinking forward. Your only thought, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Beautiful, lower down. Place your hands under your shoulders, elbows in, shoulders back, knees to the mat. Come through a modified push-up, back to down dog. And this time we lift the right leg behind us. Roll that foot around on the ankle. Take a big inhale. Exhale that foot behind the other. So we're crisscrossing the legs again. Now the left knee comes to the earth, right knee, and we slide back into modified pigeon on the other side. Just keep breathing and relaxing. And maybe even smiling. Learning to control your mind is a disciplined practice. Of course, the physical feels good in yoga, but the reason you do yoga is to get your mind under control. It is the source of all problems, source of all of your suffering. And that speaks to truth. So the truth is, we're all in a shared experience, but you experience it different based on the perceptions of your mind, perceptions maybe even founded from childhood, culture. And right now, the chaos that we are experiencing is a result of the collective adjusting what the collective truth is. And that's hard. Let's go ahead and inhale, come on up. Again, you can put both knees to the mat. You can roll it around, massage the wrists. And then we'll lift those knees, come back to down dog. So really our truths are all adjusting as we compassionately begin to understand the truths of others. And then those new realizations are being taken into our consciousness, and we have to make an adjustment, and that is uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and get that right foot between the hands. Don't let your toes drag on the mat. So even coming down to tabletop to do this is fine. Get your blocks. Again, we're going to lift those front toes. We're going to make sure the knees over the ankles. Slide that left foot all the way back. It's okay. Take your time. Right foot forward, left foot back. And then we press through that left heel. Lift the front toes and just keep breathing. So a lot of you are establishing yourself in a home practice. If you do everything with the right foot first, you are always switching sides. So we step the right foot back first, do our little sequence, and then at home you'd be like, oh, where am I? Oh, I'll just step my right foot forward now. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And now let's go ahead and straighten, slide those hands, blocks under the shoulders, lift the front toes, pull back on that right hip. Inhale to a half lift just to get that heart pressed forward. Chin can roll down and keep pulling back on that right hip and breathe. Beautiful. Bend the front knee, walking the hands forward. Bring the back knee to the earth, and then we'll straighten that leg. Half split first, and then we're going to take that foot. Don't move the shin. And again, we pull back on that hip. We press the heart forward. Chin can roll down. Just keep breathing. So we've got a lot of back pain going on for a lot of people. This little sequence we're doing right here is kind of the magical cure-all. And you can probably feel it in your psoas. Beautiful. Go ahead and walk it forward. Get to the flesh above that back knee, bend it. We're going to reach back with the right hand. If you can flex the foot, flex it. Look forward again and draw that foot towards the heel. And breathe and smile. Smile through the frustration. Frustration is such a hot energy. Like, I don't even fully understand what it is. I think it's about power and control on some level. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so hot, right? Yeah. Oh, I know. Just keep breathing. Okay, slowly let go. Don't let it thunk down. Lift that back knee. We're going to step forward. You are good and warmed up now. So inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Wrap your hands behind your ankles and just pull yourself in. You can keep that slight bend to the knees. Head's hanging heavy. In fact, you can shake it yes, shake it no. And then bend the knees a little bit as we inhale, rise up, reach up, look up and back, and exhale, bring hands to heart center. Revisit your wish. Steady the breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, softly fold. We're going to step back with that right foot. Step back with the left, plank position. Pause here in your plank. Don't let your bum float up or down. And try not to hyperextend. Take a big inhale as we lower. Keep the elbows in tight so they can even graze your rib cage as you come down. Knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, we're going to rise up into Cobra. If your lower back pinches you, take your feet wide. Otherwise, toes, heels are together, pressing through the pubic bone. Shoulders are back. Just keep breathing. And exhale, release to the earth. Add that modified push-up and come to down dog. In your down dog, why don't you play for a moment? Take your feet super wide. And now bend those knees just the touch to get that tailbone up a little bit higher. See how that feels. And then bring your feet together super narrow. Maybe the toes even touch. See how that feels. And then find the hips. Get those feet in alignment. And then just mentally note what felt better, what felt challenging. So in our yoga practice, we get into all kinds of habits. One of my favorite teachers, Mark Whitwell, he always says, if you notice you're doing anything in life repetitively the same, switch it up. Because in yoga, we break all habits, including ones you might even think are good. Lift the right foot behind you. Let the left heel sink down. Point that right toe, bend the knee, open the hip, look right, look left. See if you can't find that ankle. And then we're going to inhale that right foot back up to the sky. Bring that knee into the chest for the hover. That foot end up between the hands without grazing the mat. Seal the back foot to the earth. Rise up. Warrior one. And take your time getting there. We now have all the time in the world, don't we? Inhale, straighten the leg. Bring your hands together. Interlace that middle ring and pinky finger. And then bend that knee. Now look up. Soften your shoulders. Open through the heart. Draw the fingertips back. And open through the throat. Keep breathing. Front knees bent. Now let's inhale, straighten the front leg. Release those hands behind you, airplane wings. Fold forward at the hip. Heart's leading the way. And then bring the fingertips to the earth. Maybe you use a block under your left hand, maybe your hands on the mat. We're going to open up with that right arm. And again, you might have to just keep swinging it open and closed, or maybe bring the hand to the hip or all the way up. It's going to be the story of your shoulder. Keep breathing. Right arm's reaching up. And release that hand back to the earth. Bend that front knee. Reach out with your left arm to reverse cartwheel into warrior two. Heel toe your front toe over to the left, just a touch. When you look at that knee, you see your big toe only. Your back foot is at a 90-degree angle. Flip your hands, get the muscles tight to the bone, then flip the hands back over, staring down the fingertips. Shakti, feminine energy springing forth from those fingertips. And breathe. Pushing through the outside edge of that back foot. Releasing the right hand, we reach up, passive warrior. And really twist your heart to the sky. Again, we open that throat, sky blue, breathe deeply. Exhale, cartwheel to the earth, step into that plank position. And again, you can always put your knees down here. Don't feel like you have to be a superhero every day. I know, right? Take an inhale, exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Maybe this time we even slide our hands forward a little bit. Bring the shoulders down, elbows in, and maybe bring the feet wide. Just keep breathing. Tips of the ears start to migrate towards the back of the room. And exhale, release, add that modified push-up to come to down dog. Woo, you guys needed this today. Keep breathing. So ultimately, yogis are what we call truth seekers. Truth in yoga is that there is no separation between you, the divine, and the material world. It's all the same fabric. And obviously, we have to break our minds down so that we can see that. Lift your left leg behind you, and then we're going to bring that foot through, seal it, coming into warrior one. Once we get there, once we're stabilized, we interlace middle ring, pinky fingers, soften the shoulders, take your gaze up, draw the fingers back, and again, opening through the throat. And I think the real question to contemplate is, what is the purpose of all that? How would you feel differently if you truly knew there was no separation between you, others, your planet, and the divine, that you are one? Does that change the way you live? Inhale, straighten your front leg. Bring those arms behind you. Again, we fall forward. If you have your block, if you like it, put it under your right hand. We're going to do those arm sweeps again. Maybe the arm goes to the hip or all the way up. Whatever you did on the other side, do on this side too. So if we injure a shoulder or something, it's usually just one and not the other. In yoga, we always match our situation. Beautiful. Release. We're going to bend that front knee, reach out with the right arm to reverse cartwheel, and we just get that habit of slinking the left foot towards the right, moving that to 90. It just becomes like this organic little adjustment. And then, maybe play here. Straighten the leg, heel toe your front foot forward. Bring that knee forward a little bit. Just know you can always go deeper with the hips open. And again, staring down those fingers, maybe tighten up. And flip the palm, reach up, look up. Keep breathing. And as we exhale, we're going to cartwheel, this time stepping forward, pausing here. And then we're going to inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Drop your hands by your side. And start to cool down a little bit. So send the breath to the heart, beating in the chest, heartbeat to the hands. And take that strong third eye centered focus. And in that third eye center, we place form, that which we find divine. And once you can feel your heart beating in your hands, know that you have lowered your blood pressure. Super healthy. Beautiful. Open your eyes. Bring your arms to the level of the shoulders. Bend them. Gyan Mudra. We're going to take our energy into our left leg and just come to the right toe to find your balance. You're staring at something in front of you, 6 or 8 feet. Engage above the kneecap. Lift that right leg in front of you. The foot is flexed. And then we're going to start to hover the ankle over the standing knee as the knee bends. Foot is flexed. Just keep breathing. Now, if you take your left hand in front of your mouth and your right hand down a little, you look like Krishna playing his lute. Krishna being a form of the divine. And he is the color blue. Inhale, reach up, let it all go. Oh, it's amazing how things come together, huh? Roll it out. Lift the arms again. Beautiful, bring them down. Bend them, they're at the level of the shoulders, back to Gyan Mudra. Energy to the right foot now, come to that toe. And then when you're ready, start to hover that left ankle over the knee as you bend. Just keep breathing. So you probably know Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita, which is really about Dharma, life's purpose. The warrior Arjuna ends up in a chariot with Krishna. And they're really on the battlefield of the mind. Let's see if we can't make that lute. Right hand now moves. Left hand comes down. Arjuna put in an impossible position, and he's the best warrior in all the world. Falls to his knees, and he says, I just can't do this. And Krishna shows up and says, oh, yes, you can, and you will. Inhale, come on up. Let's release it. Shake it out. Good job. Yay. All right, I'm going to bring you to the mat. How's that sound? So just come however you can. We'll bring our hands to our knees just for a moment and close your eyes and let your energy settle. So you might imagine your energy as little lines of light going out in 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 directions. As you're breathing in, just pull those lines back to you. Kind of like you're rolling up a fishing pole. And bring all those little lines as tentacles back to the throat chakra. Funny thing about truth is you always know when you're not in it. Something doesn't feel right. And you might stay in it because society says to stay and you want to be good and follow directions. Beautiful. You can softly come lying down on your back. And when you get there, you're going to bend your knees and place your feet in alignment with your head. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms down, just for a moment. Let that spine adjust into the earth. So soften the shoulders. Deepen the breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to lift those feet straight up to the sky, feet flexed. You can always hold onto the backs of your legs. If you have a shoulder stand practice, just slide your hands down to your lower back and you'll start to roll up, holding onto the lower back. Once the feet get to the sky, flex them again. Your chin is tilted up. There's no looking left. There's no looking right. Stare at your belly. And just keep breathing. And this is one of those amazing poses that the yogis recommend you do every single day. They note that it's especially good for the throat chakra. As you get a little more comfortable in the pose, you can continue to walk your hands down. Sometimes it's fun to play, bringing the toes to touch the floor above you into a plow pose, or simply bend your knees and let those knees play by the ears. That's called elephant pose. You can stay as long as you like. When you do roll out, do it slowly, holding on to the back. And then the knees stay bent, the feet go as wide as the mat, and the knees just collapse together. Beautiful. Go ahead and take the knees apart and then heel toe them back in alignment with the hips and walk the toes in so that the heels are as close to the glute as you can be. Take the arms by the sides, palms down. We're just going to lift up into a bridge. You can inhale up and exhale down, or you can lift up and hold it. If you have a block, you can always put the block underneath your sacrum to modify this pose. Regardless of where you are, keep that chin tilted a little bit up. If you're holding, imagine you can squeeze your thighs together like you're squeezing a block. And this pose is really the only pose that stimulates all the chakras. So breathing that rainbow light, if you think about the chakra system, it is the colors of the rainbow. Red at the base of the spine, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and finally indigo. Beautiful. Lift those hips and then slowly rolling down. one vertebra at a time. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug, maybe pushing the knees together, drawing circles on the sky, massaging the full width of the sacrum. And then other direction. And then letting those knees align, the shins to align with the knees, arms out in a T, palms down. Take an inhale, exhale, right, gaze to the left, a little more. Gently releasing to the other side. Gaze to the right. And gently releasing back to center. Heel toe the feet to touch. Let the knees splay open, reclined. Cobbler's pose. Maybe bring your arms up over your head. The backs of your hands rest on the wood. Or you can reach for opposite elbows. And just let your body go to a natural state of breath. And maybe preparing for our final pose, Shavasana, start to breathe in, breathe out that sky blue and let it become just a bubble of energy through the whole being. In the practice of dream yoga, we always place in the heart a sky blue, what they call Devi, which is like a goddess or an angel. And as we fall asleep at night, we just breathe into that heart center, visualizing that Devi or angel just getting bigger and filling up our whole being. The dream state's a beautiful place to explore truth. So tonight as you go to bed, just tell yourself, tonight I will remember my dreams. And then set an intention. Tonight I want to understand, fill in the blank. And I'll play the gong for our final relaxation. And then we will end with a meditation. Feel free to stay as you are, or if you would like to start to transition into final rest. Start to take a big inhale and exhale. And we'll start to wiggle through the fingers and the toes. Rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. And then maybe enjoying a full body stretch, interlacing your fingers, flipping your palms, and pressing through your feet, wiggling the hips. And on an exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Rub them together. Maybe rub the soles of the feet to ground your energy after the gong. And then we'll take those hands, press them into our eyes, and bless yourself. And if that's new for you, just say thank you. And then as you wish, you can roll to your right. Just pause there to set an intention, maybe for the weekend, to explore truth. And a great way to start to break down barriers, belief systems, is just ask yourself all weekend, what don't I know? What don't I see? What am I not receptive to based on conditioning? And then gently start to push yourself to seated for our meditation. So in meditation, we always find any comfortable seat, whether on your knees, whether in Sukhasana, in a chair. You can place your hands on your knees, thumb and index finger merge in Gyan Mudra. And you close your eyes and just notice the body breathes. So no breath manipulation, just let the body breathe. And we'll use the mantra today, Sat, S-A-T, Nam, N-A-M, Sat Nam. It means truth is my identity. As the body breathes in, think Sat, and as the body breathes out, think Nam. And taking an exhale, roll your chin down to your chest. And maybe just relax and soften and even lean forward and let the thoughts organically arise. And maybe making any mental notes about any struggles the mind might have had in meditation, problems, situations you might want to talk about or journal about today. And then opening your eyes, look up and around and smile and blink. For this practice today. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you all for coming. You have a lovely 4th of July. My goodness.